It's been 2 weeks since deadly tornadoes swept through the Arklatex, and still, some folks who lost everything in the storm have yet to meet with the Red Cross officials to find out what kind of financial help is available to them. To ease the process, Red Cross officials are opening up their service center today to assist those who are unable to talk with disaster relief officials during the week. The Red Cross Service Center will be open today from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 5. Now, the Service Center is located at the old Bossier City Town Hall. People weren't the only ones to lose their homes in the tornado. An eagle family living in Cypress Bayou lost their nesting tree and several eaglets after the storm. Yesterday, though, the eagles got a new home. SWEPCO donated a 95-foot pole to take the place of the lost tree. A local Girl Scout troop has been taking care of the area for the past couple of years and helped build a new nest to place on the pole.
And hopefully they will build another nest and lay eggs next year, or they even have time to lay them this year again.
Great project. The 95-foot pole was once used on an I-220 road crossing in Shreveport.
There are plenty of activities to choose from this weekend in Shreveport. Among other things, the annual Holiday in Dixie Carnival is in full swing. For years, the event has helped to bring visitors from all over into Shreveport Bossier. And for many attractions around the area, it's been more of a boost than a distraction. News 12's Carolina Boyd explains.
Trey Holloman and his daughters come every year to the Holiday in Dixie festivities.
We'll be going to the parade this evening to see my niece and whatever else is going on today or tomorrow.
Organizers of the event hope visitors come in for activities like the carnival. But if they stop somewhere else along the way, that's even better for the economy. The Barnwell Center is on the Holiday in Dixie list of things to do. It's playing host to a flower show. Events like that help to increase visitors.
Which would be sort of the same at the Holiday in Dixie as it is at Christmas. And a number of years ago when I was in charge of it, we had over 4,000 people come through.
Nearby Cyport is also feeling the effects of the increased visitors to the downtown riverfront area. Officials there say they can only benefit from it all.
I really think more is better when it comes to wonderful family activities because that helps provide more things to do both within Shreveport, but we also become a bigger draw as a region for out-of-towners to come. And
Holiday in Dixie events run through April 25th. The Holiday in Dixie is a unique event, and one of the reasons it is so unique is because of the neighborhood block parties. Last year, about 75 neighborhoods took part in the annual event. All you need is 51% of your neighborhood to sign an informal petition saying they want to hold a block party. The event is slated for next Saturday. Holiday in Dixie organizers are already taking applications for this year's party. The deadline for your entry is April 21st.
Another big event this weekend was last night's home opener for Shreveport's new football team. And the Shreveport Knights made quite a first impression on their fans, but more importantly, the fans made a good first impression on the team. A solid showing turned out to support them.
I really do. This team didn't come into action for money. They just come in action for support. And I think they'll get support. We've been swinging a lot of money in the past, but now they're here. I believe they're here to stay.
The Knights will be on the road all next week, but they'll play again at home May 1st against the Ohio Cannons. So I got to see the preseason game last week, and it was quite an exciting event.
Sounds like last night's was good too.
Gotta love football. Big fan. Well, the time right now is 8:07. Temperature in Natchitoches 42 degrees, and in Bossier City it's 44. When we return, Vice President Al Gore is gearing up for the 2000 election, but what does the public think about him?
And NATO attacks on Kosovo end in tragedy for some fleeing refugees. We'll explain. Stay with us.
Plus, of course, I'll have your Storm Tracker 12 forecast. A beautiful day across the Arklatex. What do the next 6 days have in store? I'll let you know.
This is Storm Tracker 12 weather with the exclusive Willis Knighton Storm Tracker 12 live Doppler radar.
Well, they say looks can be deceiving, and yesterday looks were. It was a beautiful day as far as lots of sun out there, no rainfall, but the wind and the cold temperatures really hurt people who had some events outside, like folks up at the Red River Raceway. Also, folks at the golf tournament, too. Those winds just played havoc on that course at the Nike Shreveport Open. But today, the winds have died down, high pressure is settling in. Another beautiful day, and it looks like it's going to be much warmer and much calmer winds. So that's good news out there. Willis Knighton Storm Tracker 12 live Doppler radar is clear at this moment. Just some interference north in parts of Texarkana and Magnolia here, those little green specks you see. Nothing there, just some interference, but we are seeing some beautiful, beautiful blue skies out there. To prove it, let's take a look outside. 37 degrees, temperature has actually gone up to 43 in Shreveport. Unfortunately, the temperature hasn't updated yet. Barometer on the rise. The winds are shifting. Yesterday they were from the north-northwest. Today they're from the south, and that is going to bring warmer temperatures and much more moisture into the atmosphere for today. So be aware of that, but it looks like it's going to be a nice one in the Arklatex. Current temperatures again on the rise rapidly at this hour. 46 degrees in Ruston, 45 Texarkana and Hope. Magnolia checks in at 41, Longview, Texas 43, and down in Nacogdoches is our hotspot along with Ruston at 46 degrees. Now, on our storm trackers, we had quite a few call in this morning, so I had to put them in. Brad from Natchitoches, 40 degrees. Woodlawn, Texas, Frankie McConnell, 35. And there's Mildred Green from Shiloh, 39 degrees. Alan Fitz, Heber Community at 38. And Mrs. Jim Forbes called in from Center, Texas, 38 degrees, never fails. Thank you very much for those reports, storm trackers. I appreciate it. Folks got to wake up early and got to report those temperatures and appreciate it. Anyway, in our satellite loop, you can see high pressure is settled in, and it's settled in for the long haul. Clouds are moving out of here. We're seeing some low to mid-level clouds that pass through parts of northeast Arkansas during the night. Those have passed off to the northeast. You're seeing some clouds off to our west. That's not going to affect us. Looks like they're going to stay to the north. As you can see, high pressure is settling in across the Arklatex. These areas of equal pressure, these isobars, if you see them tightly packed, like we saw yesterday, it causes a stronger wind, but we're not seeing that today, so we will see much calmer wind. That's good news out there. 1 to 8 miles an hour, and lots of sun out there. No problems for your forecast for this afternoon. 75 degrees will be our high temperature, and then for tonight, should be another nice one out there. Milder temperatures, though. We saw lows in the mid-30s for yesterday or overnight tonight. And then for tonight, Sunday into Monday, we'll see an overnight low only around 53 degrees. Southwest winds 1 to 8 miles an hour. And then for tomorrow, you can see a front draped over central Arkansas. That's not going to affect us. Maybe kick up a couple of clouds. And really no problems until we reach Thursday and Friday. We will see high temperatures hovering around 90 by the time midweek goes around.
All right.
Quite a difference.
Just adjust as you go. Huh?
Yes, welcome to spring.
Okay. A death row inmate is enjoying freedom this morning. We'll tell you what happened.
And a little later, there is new hope for women suffering from fibroids. We'll tell you about it when coverage you can count on continues.
This is News 12 Sunday morning.
Serb targets took a heavy pounding from NATO overnight. And this morning, a tragedy struck a group of refugees headed for the Kosovo-Albania border. CBS News correspondent Dave Browdy reports.
The 25th night of NATO bombing saw what Serb television called the heaviest attack yet on the oil refinery in Yugoslavia's second largest city, Novi Sad. And NATO bombs were reported to have hit industrial facilities in and around Belgrade. The explosions in the night sky in Pančevo punctuated blunt comments from NATO's commander, who threatened additional attacks if Yugoslavia doesn't comply with NATO demands.
It's going to be a steadily increasing and intensifying air campaign that's going to continue. It's going to disrupt, degrade, diminish, and if he doesn't change his policies, we're going to destroy those things that President Milosevic values.
Civilian casualties were reported on both sides. Serb television said a 3-year-old child was killed in bombing in the village of Botanica and said other residential areas were hit as well. 5 Albanian refugees were killed when their car hit a landmine just 20 yards from the border, crossing from Yugoslavia into Albania. In recent weeks, Yugoslav soldiers have been seen planting mines, apparently preparing for a possible NATO ground invasion. There is no new word on the fate of 3 American soldiers being held by Serb forces. The Pentagon says they have not yet been seen by the Red Cross. And Pentagon officials say it seems unlikely that the Yugoslavian officer captured by the rebels in Kosovo and turned over to American forces can now be swapped for the 3 Americans.
I would not be optimistic on that score.
The refugee crisis continues to grow. Yesterday, almost 30,000, mostly ethnic Albanians, arrived at border checkpoints. NATO officials say at this rate, Slobodan Milosevic could soon achieve his goals despite losing militarily, having expelled every ethnic Albanian from Kosovo, even while being pounded by the NATO airstrikes. Dave Browdy, CBS News, New York.
A recent poll says most Americans are tired of problems surrounding the Clinton-Gore White House. In a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center, 3/4 of those polled said they have had their fill of problems linked to the Clinton-Gore years. And 43% of those surveyed say they have an unfavorable view of Vice President Al Gore. Meanwhile, Republicans are pushing their trillion-dollar budget for the year 2000. In a GOP radio address, Michigan Senator Spencer Abraham said the plan will save Social Security, bolster education and defense, and cut taxes.
A Massachusetts man that was on death row Thursday is a free man today. In October of 1996, Marlon Pasley was convicted in the shooting death of an 18-year-old man. Since then, authorities say new evidence has surfaced. Law enforcement officials won't comment on what they found, but a Boston police detective said it would have been unethical not to use it. Pasley, now 26, was released yesterday. It's 8:18 right now. Temperature in Bossier City, 44 degrees, and in Zwolle, it's 42. Still ahead, a new procedure could keep you from wearing glasses. We'll tell you what that is.
But if you have to wear glasses, there are some new contacts that could make your life a little easier. Those stories and more when we come back.
This is News 12 Sunday Morning.
Even if you've had excellent eyesight all your life, as you hit middle age, you may be headed for reading glasses.
But you may be able to escape that with the help of a new contact lens that's just on the market. Medical reporter Dr. Michael Breen has that story.
You can see great at a distance, but you put something right in front of your eyes and that's why Roberta Richardson wears reading glasses. But she says they're a nuisance.
They're uncomfortable by the end of the day, and yeah, they are not fun to wear.
We need reading glasses because of this, the lens in our eye. As we age, it gets stiffer.
It just doesn't flex like it once did, and therefore we're left with a blurred near where we once could see very clearly.
Here's how bifocal contact lenses try to solve that problem. There are really two parts to the contact lens. You look down through an outer ring as you read, and then the center part, straight ahead, is for far vision. The problem is the contacts slip. The wearer's vision goes in and out, and most people give the contacts up. But the makers of this new contact, called AccuView, claim to have solved that problem. The lenses stay put, and the company says 70% of patients stick with them.
I'd be surprised if it was that high, but I hope it is. We'll see.
Glasses are so uncomfortable that if you could wear contacts and not have to bother with these things, well, I'd be very happy.
Dr. Michael Breen for CBS News.
Another treatment is being looked at for people who have bad vision. An eye doctor in Fayetteville, Arkansas is offering a new solution for nearsightedness. Tiny transparent rings implanted directly in the eye. Nearsightedness occurs when the cornea is too steeply curved. Intacts, as the implants are called, help correct the problem by flattening out the cornea. The operation only takes 15 minutes, but the FDA warns the operation is only for mildly nearsighted people.
They can range in size from a pea to a bowling ball. We're talking about fibroid tumors. About 1/4 of all women suffer from them, but now there's a new breakthrough procedure that has become an alternative to having a hysterectomy. It's called embolization, and it's a non-surgical technique performed by a radiologist. The procedure effectively cuts off the blood supply to the fibroid, causing it to die without making an incision. Most patients feel severe cramping afterwards, but should be back at work within a few days. Well, still to come on News 12 this morning, could Bossier City be getting a new mall? We'll tell you.
But first, the man whose favorite hobby is shopping with his wife. Okay, maybe not. Mr. Dave Foster's here. Joins us to give us the latest sports on a busy weekend.
Yeah, just ask her about that.
Yeah, really.
That's my favorite hobby. Love it. Well, I don't know anything about shopping. I guess the NFL was shopping for players yesterday.
There you go.
The first part of the NFL draft was held, and there were a lot of happy faces yesterday, including Shreveport's Troy Edwards, who heard the good news.
This is News 12 Sports.
Troy Edwards and Terry Bradshaw now have at least two things in common. They both went to Louisiana Tech, and now they both have been picked in the first round of the NFL draft. Edwards got the great news yesterday when the Pittsburgh Steelers made him the 13th pick in this year's draft. Edward and his family gathered to watch the draft yesterday, and especially everybody had a good time, especially Troy. There was a reason for that, though. Edwards was predicted to go anywhere from 10th to 30th, but the difference between 10 and 30 can be a lot.
Probably 13, they'll probably get like 20 million. 17 probably get like 14. 30 get like 4. It's a big difference, you know. The top 15 get paid real good. But the real part about the money, I'm just glad I can take care of my family, especially my mother and my father and my son.
Edwards is only 5'9", but he's a playmaker, and Bill Cowher, the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, is excited to have, among other things, a guy who can return punts, something Cowher hasn't had since he's been in Pittsburgh. But that's not all Edwards will do.
You know, we are fortunate to get him, and I think he has a chance to come in and help us. And, you know, he's an exciting guy with the ball in his hands, playing on turf. You know, he's going to be an exciting guy. I think you're going to enjoy watching play.
Mike Ditka came away from the draft with a cigar and a smile. He'd made it clear that the player he wanted all along was Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams. When the smoke cleared, the Saints picked Williams with their 5th selection, but that wasn't until the Indianapolis Colts shocked everyone by picking running back Edgerrin James before Williams. The Colts took James with the 4th overall selection. That's when the Saints traded their 1st and 3rd round picks this year and next year to get the 5th pick from Washington. Ditka says even though it's just one player, it's the player for New Orleans.
I don't think the Saints have had an identity football player really since Archie. And I think he's the first, you know, marquee player this organization's had in a long time.
No, I don't feel pressure at all. All I can do is my best.
While the Saints were the first team that wanted Williams, Philadelphia Eagle fans who made the trip to New York yesterday made it quite clear that they weren't happy when the Eagles passed Williams over at the 2nd pick. Here's how the first 12 went. Cleveland took quarterback Tim Couch. Here's when the Eagles fans went crazy. When they passed Williams and took Donovan McNabb. Cincinnati made Akili Smith the 3rd straight quarterback taken. There are the 2 running backs, James and Williams. Wideout Torrey Holt went to St. Louis at number 6. Washington got cornerback Champ Bailey, Ohio State's David Boston, USC linebacker Chris Claiborne, and Arizona defensive back Chris McAllister were next. Central Florida's Dante Culpepper went to Minnesota 11, and the Bears got UCLA's Cade McNown as the 12th pick. As for the Dallas Cowboys, they traded up from 22 to 20th and took North Carolina defensive end Ebenezer Ekibon in the 2nd round. Dallas got offensive tackle Solomon Page from West Virginia, and in the 3rd round they picked Texas A&M's Dat Nguyen. As for some Arklatex players, LSU's Anthony McFarland and Tulane's Sean King will be teammates in Tampa Bay. McFarland was the 15th pick overall, and King went in the 2nd round. Also in the 2nd round, New England selected Kevin Falk, and Indianapolis took Arkansas lineman Brandon Burlsworth. The Chicago Bears picked NLU's Marty Booker in the 3rd round. And Brandon Burlsworth, that's the guy who looks kind of like Drew Carey. Yeah,
and he was a former walk-on, too.
That's right, and he's supposed to be a real mean, nasty guy, so now he'll be clearing holes in Indianapolis for Edgerrin James. So.
He may be a good fit for the Philadelphia people who will boo anybody.
That's right, yeah.
You
know, you boo. I don't know if you boo the guy. You don't like the pick, but you don't boo the guy.
I know. That's just terrible. Welcome to Philadelphia, I guess.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Sure.
But I'm excited about the Saints now. So.
Yes. You got to love the Saints, Ricky Williams. All right.
You know, he's my guy from Longhorn.
That's
country,
right. Former Texas alum just like yourself. We'll see what the Saints do.
I have to go to the games and cheer them on.
There you go. Well, you know what? Good day not to go to the Superdome tonight because that's inside. Here. Outside, good deal out there, folks, at the golf tournament, or even if you're going to swing your own sticks out there at the golf course. It's going to be a fantastic day. You might need a jacket as you head to services, a little bit on the chilly side this morning, but we'll see a full 13 hours of sun today. Winds from the south-southwest, so we will see an increased humidity reading over the next couple of days or so. UVI index will be on the high scale at 7, sunset at 7:46 for tonight. If you're traveling across the region, you can see no problems at all across much of the area. Temperatures in the 70s, mid to lower 70s for the most part. No real cloud cover, no chance of rain anywhere. So if you're traveling to Dallas, Jackson, or New Orleans today or any other place, no problems at all.
Toss the umbrella.
No, again, for a couple of days. That's right.
Okay. When we return, Bossier City is in line for a new strip mall. We'll tell you where.
A group of teenagers are taking their message on the road in this week's Hometown Religion.
And some area students will have a different schedule next year. We'll tell you who is involved. What coverage you can count on continues.
From KSLA TV 12, coverage you can count on. This is News 12 Sunday morning.
Good morning once again. You're waking up to a live view of downtown of Shreveport. It's 8:32, 43 degrees in Shreveport, 44 over in Bossier City, and it's a cool morning as you wake up on this Sunday morning.
That's right, 43 degrees is our current temperature, but you can see plenty of blue skies out there. We're seeing a southerly flow of wind. That means increased temperature and a little bit of increased humidity later on, especially for the next couple of days too. So beautiful day in store for the Arklatex for today, and by Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday should be much the same.
All right, looking forward to it. We'll get the full forecast a little
That's
later.
right, I'll have that in just a few minutes. But first, turning to your news this morning, folks who love to shop are anxiously awaiting word on whether another strip mall is about to go up in the Arklatex. A Birmingham, Alabama company wants to build a $20 million, 300,000 square foot shopping center on this Bossier City property at Airline Drive and Interstate 220. Kroger has already expressed interest in the project, and negotiators are hoping restaurants and bookstores will sign on too, in hopes of rivaling the success of Southeast Shreveport's Bayou Walk. No word yet on which stores have committed to the project. Negotiators say a tenant lineup could be finalized later this spring.
Help might finally be on the way for crumbling county courthouses across Texas. After years of delay, key lawmakers are finally getting serious about preserving the old buildings. Governor George Bush wants the state to spend $200 million over the next 4 years to fix up the old buildings. Students in DeSoto Parish can look forward to a shorter schedule when the next school year rolls around. The school board voted to shorten the 1999-2000 school year, but in exchange, lengthen each day by about 20 minutes. The Caddo Parish schools will discuss starting classes an hour later on Wednesday. And it's a good thing you didn't have to stand at the bus stop this morning. It was cold. What can you expect for the rest of the week? Aaron Williams has your forecast. Aaron?
Well, that's right. It's already the middle of April, but we had some storm trackers reporting some frost, early frost this morning. Some light one, though, but it's going to quickly melt, burn off. No problems later on today. We're going to see much calmer winds and plenty of sunshine once again across the Arklatex as high pressure settles in. You're looking at our Willis Titan Storm Tracker 12 live Doppler radar, and you can see some spotches of red and yellow here. That's interference, nothing to worry about. We're seeing blue skies throughout the Arklatex for today, and temperatures are rapidly on the rise. Dry air and southerly flow of wind is really creating that heating element that we need out there, just kind of like an oven actually. But let's take a look at the temperature right now. 43 degrees an hour ago. It was 37, so quite a bit of a rise in temperature. 82% humidity. Winds are calm, and the barometer is currently on the rise. That calm wind is a good sign for many folks out there. We had wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour yesterday, so I had to cancel some outdoor events. Obviously put a hindrance on the golf tournament and also up at the raceway up in Gillum. They had to cancel some events there too. So good news for this. Looks like the wind is calming down and it should be there to stay. Temperatures across the rest of the Arklatex, 40s for the most part. 46 Ruston, 45 Texarkana and Hope, 43 degrees in Shreveport. We had an overnight low or an early morning low of 37 degrees. That broke a record set a couple of years ago. 41 degrees was our former record low, so much colder than normal temperatures across the Arklatex for today. Now we're seeing high pressure settle in, and that opened up the door yesterday to some cold Canadian air rushing in from the north, and we had a pretty high pressure gradient that really just stacked the isobars up across the Arklatex. That provided the wind flow, the strong wind flow, 10 to 20 miles an hour, even gusting up to 30, 35 miles an hour for yesterday. But as you can see, the center of high pressure is basically anchored in East Texas. That has created a pretty wide pattern of isobars, so nothing's really stacked together, so we're not going to see that wind flow like we saw yesterday. That's good news for folks out there who are planning to do some outdoor activities. Looks like it's going to be a nice day, and we're also seeing a southerly flow of air, and that is going to A, increase the humidity, and B, increase the temperatures, as we're seeing obviously warm air from the south as opposed to colder air from the north. So we will see temperatures back up to normal by this afternoon. No problems out there for today. A very slight southeast south wind, 1 to 8 miles an hour. 75 degrees will be our high for tonight. Mild temperatures once again, maybe a couple of clouds lingering around, but nothing that's going to affect us. Southwest winds and a low of 53 degrees. Then for tomorrow, we'll see partly cloudy skies and no real problems of rain, even though a weak front will be draped across central Arkansas. And we'll see a high temperature in the mid-80s on Monday. Tuesday, we'll see that temperature jump up to around 88 degrees and 90 degrees on Wednesday, but we'll see much more moisture, more clouds, and a pretty good chance of rain by the time we reach Friday, but that's 4 or 5 days in advance. No need for an umbrella. Get those shorts back out again.
All right. I must say you're my favorite weatherman when you give me good weather.
Well, I appreciate that, as long as I'm still your favorite weatherman when bad weather comes around.
Okay.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Okay.
When we return, we'll give you a preview of tonight's 60 Minutes.
But right now, Dave Foster joins us to give this a preview of his own or a review of his own. Dave?
Preview.
Something like that.
The Shreveport Bossier Knights football team started their season with a bang and 40 points last night, and at the Nike Shreveport Open, in about 8 hours, we will know who this year's champ is.
This is News 12 Sunday morning.
While the NFL was drafting players for next year, the RFL began their regular season last night. The Shreveport Bossier Knights played a home game against the Mississippi Pride to kick off the year, and they wasted not much time before kicking off the Pride last night. The Knights took their first possession and scored, but they did have a few shaky early moments, mostly on punts. Twice in the first half this happened. The Knights were set to punt to the Pride, but a high snap cost them 2 points, and then also in the first half, same situation, same results. They gave up 4 points on safeties on punt. But here's the first possession for the Knights. Jermaine Blaylock went to the left side and scored, and it was 7-0. That's when they gave away the first safety, but they picked up another touchdown in the first quarter when Martin hit former Arkansas receiver Anthony Eubanks for the TD, and it was 14-2. That's when they gave up their second safety, and it was 14-4, but Martin connected on his second TD pass of the game, this time to Marquez Smith. It was 21-4 at the half, and the Knights went on to win 40-12 for their first ever regular season victory.
It was a big play offense for us tonight. Our defense gave us plenty of opportunities, and when you do that often enough and you got some quickness and speed and a guy that can throw it, then you're going to have points on the board.
I think we're excellent. If we cut down on our small stuff, I think we'll be a good football team and hard to beat.
Usually golf tournaments are battles between the golfers and the course. This year the course has held its own. It's the wind that's winning at Southern Trace. All 3 rounds this week have been played in windy conditions, and that has really affected scores. This is Jerry Smith yesterday on 18. He began the day tied for second place at 4 under, but he lost a couple of strokes and needed a birdie on 18 to go 2 under for the tournament. Bob Heinz could have taken the lead by himself if he just could have had a little luck on punts like this one on 13 instead. He's in second place. Ren Buddha is the leader, and he used a birdie on 14 to get there. Buddha says if the wind is up today, it's anybody's tournament.
Winds like this, it really does. 1 shot is nothing. 3 shots, 5 shots, it's really nothing in this wind. So if if the wind doesn't blow, I think a 1-shot lead is more important because it's easier to keep pars under control. But you can get it going bad out here with this wind, and you'll never get it. A lot of times you'll never get it back.
This will be new, real new, but I handled it pretty nicely today, I think, with the final group and all the wind, and I felt really good over the ball, so I'm hoping for good things.
Here's the leaderboard. Buddha at 6 under, Heinz at 5. Kelly Gibson from New Orleans and Vance Veazey are tied at 3, and then there were 6 golfers, just 2 shots back of them. Well, let's see how the Caps did last night in the last game of their 5 straight with Tulsa. In the first inning, Damon Miner took a bite out of this pitch to the wall. That brought 1 run around and put the Captains up by 1. The Captains added 1 more in the second and had a 3-run 7th inning as they got the win to even the record for the year at 5-5. The final last night was 6-5. The Captains take today off before resuming their homestand tomorrow night. Tony Stewart will start on the pole today at the Goodies 500 at Martinsville. Mark Martin will also start in the front row. I guess that's appropriate at Martinsville. At the Busch race yesterday, the Napa 250, Jimmy Hensley took the checkered flag. And at the MCI Classic at Hilton Head, South Carolina, Chris Perry owns a 1-stroke lead at 10 under. Payne Stewart and John Houston are tied for second. Sports on TV 12 today. What do you know? What a coincidence. Our last story, the MCI Classic, today on TV 12 at 2 p.m., final round of the MCI Classic. Also, I wanted to give you 2 baseball scores. I didn't have time to go through the whole thing. Houston lost, and the Rangers, where was it? The Rangers lost also.
Rangers lost also, so bad news.
So Houston and Rangers both lost.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave.
Right. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace examines a new and controversial, yet highly effective method of fighting crime.
Just a trace of DNA at a crime scene can tell the police who did it. And the police can get DNA from a drop of blood or saliva, a strand of hair, even a flake of dandruff. Well, now every state is getting DNA from criminals to file in DNA databanks. So what's wrong with that?
the government has no justification for prying into our body's most intimate secrets. The more information government has about its citizens, the less free those citizens are.
After 60 Minutes, you can watch Touched by an Angel at 7 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock you can catch the Sunday evening movie, It's Having Our Say. After the movie, stay tuned, of course, for the latest news, weather, and sports. It's coverage you can count on. Well, when News 12 this morning continues, I'll have another look at your Sunday forecast.
And in this week's Hometown Religion, a group of teens are spreading the word across the country. We'll have their story and more. Keep it here. Buckle up. We're hitting the road with this morning's Hometown Religion. Heath Anderson shows us what led a group of teenage missionaries to our nation's capital.
Give me that hometown religion. It's good enough for me.
Started scraping and painting. Courtney Joyner and more than 20 other Shreveport teens traded their spring break for work at this historic church in Washington, D.C. They went to help spruce up the aging National Baptist Memorial Church. Their pictures tell part, but not all of the story.
Because there were so many different kinds of people that went to this one church and they came and they worshiped God, all together, and it didn't matter who they were. They were just going to give their glory to God and not worry about what color they were.
It's not a situation that we need to look at. These people are Catholic, or these people are Baptist, or these people are black, or these people are white, these people are brown, these people are whatever. It was all about kingdom business and talking, hey, how can we help someone in the name of Jesus Christ?
Dean Patterson is youth minister at Trinity Heights Baptist Church. He organized the work mission to the church, which is located only a couple of miles from the White House. Today, National Baptist Memorial is the meeting place for several different ethnic groups, including Haitians, Ethiopians, and Spaniards. But a lot of the members are older and unable to do necessary remodeling. That's why Trinity Heights made the road trip.
And so we were up there to do some sweeping, we did some scraping, some painting, some plastering, moving the furniture, building us some different things. And
the youth evangelists also got a chance to share their faith on the streets of D.C. through song, drama, and witnessing.
I think I benefited in the fact that I am more open now. I have the ability to go out and speak to people now, and it's helped me take a leading role in my faith.
And Dean Patterson hopes it also gave these teens a greater appreciation for ministering in love, something he says can be done near or afar.
And we also need to learn that it's great to go to Washington to serve, but we can serve here in Shreveport Bossier, and our mission field is our next door neighbors.
Just as soon as the teens got back from D.C., they got busy helping tornado victims in Benton. And a little trivia about the church in D.C., President Warren Harding turned the first shovel of dirt on the sanctuary nearly 80 years ago.